Good evening, everyone. Hope all is well. Back with this live session today, and today we've got a gentleman who's going to be talking about property, entrepreneurship, and everything that's got to do with empowering yourself in the business world. So let's send this over to Nick Griffith. Here we go. Send. Here we go. We've got Nick. Nick, if you can accept the request, so you will then come live with me. Hey Anwar, hope all's well. Wow, I've got...
Connecting.
Here we go.
Here we go.
How are you doing, Nick? Nick, can you turn your phone around the other way so
I can, but it's going to have to be held.
Oh, you don't have a stand, but it's okay. I mean, if you can hold your phone for half an hour.
I'm about to find out.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, good. All
This
is
is a bit
well.
close, actually. Maybe you don't need to see my face that close.
It's okay. Don't worry. It's fine. It's just that when you flip it round, I'll be vertical, you'll be horizontal. It'll just not
No,
make
that
any
doesn't
sense.
work. It's just the the gizmo for the microphone goes in the bottom of the phone.
Yeah. Well,
This is, by the way, welcome Instagram, my first Instagram live. So
it's good to have you here. Thank you so much
it's
for
great to
joining
be
me.
here.
Before we move forward, Nick, if you can introduce yourself as to who you are and what is it that you do in this entrepreneur business world of ours.
Happy to. Nick Griffith. I've been digital marketing 17 years. I spent the last decade actually learning the nuts and bolts of this through filling events, filling the room, as somebody used to call it,
Wow.
and then using networking events for networkers. I used to run something called JV Dinners for Property even. And that used to be a networking event for the networkers. Something we
So
made that.
there's a networking event where you take the leads from, but then you're doing networking for the networking event, generating leads for the networking event for people to fill up the
I would
room.
create the environment for joint ventures for the people that everybody needs to have a networking group. They just
Of
wanted to have
course,
it and the next layer up.
of course.
But that was when I got to learn nuts and bolts. What I do today, unfortunately, I say unfortunately for those listening going, I want to come. I don't run those events anymore. And clearly this would be a bad year for running live dinner parties.
Of course. Well,
So what do I do? I run the digital marketing partnership, and what that does is lead generation and conversion for small businesses. So many businesses don't have their ducks in a row when it comes to, I might call it a funnel, which might sound like a marketing term, but it's just a matter of collect leads, nurture those leads, and convert them into a sale. Now that
of course,
sounds very simple, whether it's buying a £10 million house or buying something for £1 from Amazon. There's still the steps to the process.
of course.
I build those steps for small businesses, and I
That's
do that by a combination of doing the work myself, using my 17 years experience, anything from copywriting to actually doing, the hands-on. But consider myself more the football team manager. So I worked with my Google Ads specialist this morning, and I was grilling him on how does he get 300% return for my clients. And
wow.
those kinds of things. So I'll go to the experts when it comes to the technical stuff, but I'm there to get the best value out of those experts for the clients, and I'm
So
there to bring it
you basically handle everyone to provide that sort of
all in one.
platform for the business, whether it's an individual, whether it's an organization, whatever it is.
Yeah, let the business owner sell and do what they do. Don't be worrying about, is my Google Ads person doing it and is my SEO person doing it, and oh yeah, I need a new website. You want something, a coordinated plan.
Of course, absolutely.
That's
And that's
me.
what we're here to talk about. But before we get into it, I take my guests, back into their childhood, into their teenage years. When we are all growing up and we see
Are
like,
you ready for this?
of course, I'm ready for it. Already, I've heard many of them, so you can throw me whatever you have today. So we see all these careers, like whether it's our parents, whatever they're doing in their life, uncles, aunties, whoever they are. We see all these careers, whether it's an architect, it's a dentist, it's a lawyer, it's a property agent. Digital marketing wasn't there at that time when we were growing up. But then if you ask
Didn't
today's
emails
kids,
barely existed? Yeah, fine.
exactly. So, I mean, what is it that you wanted to do when you were growing up? Obviously, you didn't think at a young age that I'm going to be an events marketer or a digital marketing advisor. What is it that you wanted to do?
I think like most people can resonate with like I wanted to be popular. You're the kid in the schoolyard.
Who doesn't?
Of course you do. I got a buzz out of, almost creating even if it was like the school outing, or going, or being the ringleader. It was kind of,
we all love those moments.
So I bought my first set of turntables, DJing turntables at 19. And I've been DJing for over 25 years now.
You still do it?
I do it on my phone now and on my laptop. So the vinyl is in my back cupboard.
No way.
Really. So I've always had that buzz for filling the room and creating an environment, whether it be business, so back then it was just a social environment that people wanted to come to.
Of course.
That's
You're
it.
You're talking about DJing from a phone. I mean, what? Is there an app that you can just do it from? Wow.
I go into the dance floor with the app and I go to someone, hey, what's the next track? And they go, I don't know, what about this? And I go, I'll show you, I'll mix it in for you. And I do it on the dance floor.
No way. Wow.
My best one, because I lived in Canada 2 years, so I DJ'd from Canada for my friend's birthday party in London.
No way. Mm-hmm. Wow.
So I said to them, what's next? What's the next songs? And I would just DJ'd on, I had my laptop, put in a laptop and a smartphone. I could have both devices going, so I was with them in presence on the phone, but on the laptop I was DJing at the party.
Where technology has moved us to, right? Just on the phone now, everything on the phone. I mean, I was just showing an apartment today, and the sales advisor of the company was there, and she was speechless when she saw me, because the apartment that we went to, it was getting dressed. So there was furniture all over the place and everything. And she was like, I said to her after the viewing, I want to do some TikTok videos. She was like, the apartment's not ready. What are you going to do? Yeah. So I was in there and I just shot the view from the balcony and everything. She was like, how do you do that? I mean, where do you come up with these ideas that you can do something from nothing? I was like, the phone. Everything's there. You just need your phone to capture it and present it in the right way.
And the idea to ask for what's possible.
Exactly.
And I think there's a lesson I learned from a DJ, and I say this to everybody, is don't throw everything that's old school out just because it's not on the phone. And a great example of that in DJing is the resurgence. Vinyl has now become more popular than ever because of the richness of sound it provides versus an MP3. So you go to record shops and people want the experience of that,
of the vinyl.
They can't get they can't get on an MP3 or Spotify. So actually, there's a lot you still can be learnt, and there's opportunities still to be there from mixing the best of the old with all.
Do you still get the noise of scratching the vinyl on the phone? You don't get that, right?
No, you could probably, a bit like the fake crowd that you have watching an empty football stadium. You could probably superimpose it on top. Yeah, it's a goal.
So, obviously, we learned that you were a DJ. How did you get into this event managing, networking? What sort of put you into that field to get there? I mean, was it the fact that you wanted a job, or no, you saw it as a career and you wanted to grow in that? I mean, I know that you wanted to fill in rooms, but what was the motivation in going for that?
I think quite simple. I did engineering at university, which most people don't understand. They go, "Why you're not an engineer?" And that doesn't. You don't have to do what you study at university. In fact, most people don't. Okay,
But then why did you do engineering?
because I was good at it.
Maths.
Maths and science. But when I went to my university, which is Imperial College in London, so one of the best,
The best.
yeah, one of the best in the world, the best for engineering in England.
Of course. Of course.
And the thing I noticed, they didn't have a summer ball. So I created the summer ball and I put myself as the headline DJ and had it at Alexandra Palace, and I was in front of 1,000 people on my final year.
No way.
I was as proud of that as my master's in engineering.
They must have loved you for that.
They did. And now it's like a 3-day event with Radio 1. And I'm thinking, well, that's bigger than I've had it planned.
Pat on the back to you for bringing in the idea, and now they're doing it for
Well, that's great.
God
That's
knows how
something-
many years.
So I guess 20 years, I did a quite a regular path. I was a management consultant for Accenture. That's quite a normal thing to do after engineering.
Yep.
I did the corporate thing, but I found it, sorry, anyone in a corporate job listening to this that's thinking it's not soulless or inspirational, it was for me. I was one of the 30,000 people in a team, and eventually a client poached me. I'll keep things nameless now. I then got made redundant from that. And with that payout, I thought, what can I do to sort of, and that's where the entrepreneur, the kind of the marketeer in me really came out. And I started a business with a school friend, actually importing furniture from China, because he had a furniture business and that was a family business. And I know it sounds obvious, but 20 years ago, we think China, that's where it's at. That's where it's all going to be made. It's all being made already, but obviously.
Till this day, it's made there.
Obviously.
Everything's made there.
Even
the fake virus is made there.
we actually did real furniture from Italy, and we had the furniture for the first ever pop idol, the bar stools that the contestants sat on, and the Wimbledon seats and the Football World Cup seats on the TV channels. We put the furniture in the showrooms.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
However, it's quite a big business game, and after one bad season, one bad sales period, our best customers, some of them went bust, and they pulled us down with them because they had our stock on credit.
Oh,
Good lesson there.
So-
If you're a small business, don't offer credit.
never.
Unless
You can't
unless put
sustain
it under
you can't
written by
sustain
the
your
bank.
business.
You could do it
Exactly.
to the bank.
Yep.
Factoring, something like that, do that, but we didn't, and we went down. And then I got very, very, very sick, which is another life story, in a coma for 6 weeks, in hospital for 3 months. I
Whoa.
forgot my name.
You're joking.
No.
How come?
I got something called encephalitis, which is a swelling of the brain. And normally you come out of that dead, or at least
Was that linked to your DJ stuff?
I don't think so. I mean, they said it was a virus. It's quite close to some Lyme's disease. It could be through a tick, something bitten me. Quite a rare occurrence. The doctors never pinpointed what it was, but I think that was a transition point for me in terms of life trajectory. I was in earning good money. I'd gone back into sort of in and out of corporate kind of clients, and this health event kind of completely shook it up. And I came out of that looking for, it took me about 6 months to rehabilitate myself. And even now to this day, I still have a legacy, which is epilepsy after the brain damage. But I have to look at what I do have, because most people come out of that and they lose their smell or their taste or their hearing, or they're in a wheelchair.
You came out of it fit, totally. That's
Pretty
amazing.
much. And I can see your body language has changed. They're going, whoa.
I mean, this is the first. I've never had this. So
It's quite interesting when you forget what your job is.
I mean, when you forget what your name is,
Forget what your name is.
that is the main. That is the ultimate. I mean, if someone asks me my name and I can't remember, I'm like, whoa.
Yes,
That is.
I forgot I had a girlfriend. That was a bit awkward. She came in
It's
every day.
it's good you forgot.
Sorry, by the way. Sorry. if she's watching this.
So coming back to
So yeah,
reality,
coming back to
once
the
you
story, yes, it's-
once you got out of that coma and you sort of had the right health to move forward, how did you go about it?
I was dragged in some ways into a big event. It was Tony Robbins, and it was a couple of things before that. And I thought, well, you know what? Let's go to anything that could heal me. Anything. Let's not prejudge it. Let's not think, well, this isn't drugs, or this isn't, some sort of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy to rehabilitate myself. This is of the mind. So I went with an open mind, and I was as interested in the content as I was in how do they get 12,000 people into the Excel Center. So I spent the last day networking with everyone on the back. I got all their business cards and I wanted to get the contacts of the contacts. A bit like the dinner parties idea. I wanted to know who was who. The movers and shakers. You would call them the influencers now.
Of course, that's what they are, right?
Social
movers and shakers have gone, and it's now just the influencers.
So I then became the guy that had the list of the influencers, and it fit. It was a live environment, full of events, high energy, doing good, people who were enthusiastic about it. I found myself being able to help make an income by helping businesses fill the rooms because there was no one else out there doing what I was doing.
How a lot of people think about how it worked in terms of pay. How was it? Was it well paid? Was it underpaid? Was it like
fairly underpaid,
commission based? Okay.
I think some of the ones you start out with, you learn from like your mistakes, don't we all? And some of the first projects, I think one of them actually they ran the event and then they cancelled it because they didn't have enough tickets sold. So from that model, I didn't get paid. I said, well, actually, I'm going to be paid monthly for you to employ my services. I'm not going to be paid on the results of you selling items. Most of these are going to be free registrations.
Yep.
So actually, you're going to pay me an agreed amount, and I'm going to do the best job I can, for what we're doing here. And if I'm happy with the amount of money you're paying me on a fixed amount, it's up to you to go and sell them, and all that's yours.
And at that point, did Eventbrite and things like that exist, or was it just
early days?
Early days for okay.
It sort of did, but they weren't used as a platform for promoting.
And now today is like anyone wants to do an event, just go and register yourself on Eventbrite, and then send out a mass email to your whole database, and they do everything, right? Collect the money, everything. It's
I mean, I had an email list, and this is where my dinner parties came in. I remember it was Brian Tracy. You've ever heard of Brian Tracy, the author?
Must have. I don't know.
Eat That Frog. For those that haven't ever heard of it, it's a kind of a legendary speaker. And we did him at Earl's Court, and we got 800 people into the room.
Wow.
And someone said to me, I did an after party, which was more fun actually. So I had Brian come along, and everybody who you see as a speaker now wanted to come to that event. And all I did to the organizer was I said, what you should do is you should invite every affiliate, every speaker, every mover and shaker along to the pub. Just, buy them some food, put a few £1,000s behind the bar. It's not a big spend. This is to say thank you for all of your efforts. You're really borrowing a lot of credit in the bank for the next event. And also, all those affiliates that blew you out, everyone that said no,
is there.
Invite them too. And he's like, no, I hate them. And I said, think big.
Of course.
And you may not have heard of a company called Success Resources.
No, but I've heard of the phrase called "keep your enemies closer than your friends."
Yeah, well, the main promoter of Tony Robbins in Asia and London, Success Resources, Richard Tan, he's the MD of that. He came along. He didn't have an invite, but I let him in. And I remember him sort of coming in there, and I went, "Oh, Richard, you can come in now." And it's the sort of gig that now he probably would look down the list of the queue of people going, "I'm not sure we know who he is." But back then, he wanted to come to my event. And that's where JB Dinners was born. Someone said, you could just do this monthly. I went, damn right. And I did. And no more than about 12 to 15 people, not 50. That's a lot. But
okay.
Around a dinner
table. So just gather them, put them at the dinner table, talk business, talk whatever.
Talk social. Around the table, everyone will do a quick intro. Everyone gets a chance to meet everybody. And then I do musical chairs without the music, so everyone gets a chance to meet everybody,
Yep,
because you
yep.
get boxed into either someone really
Exactly.
good,
Exactly. Or you
and,
talk to the person next to you. That's it.
and you're
You know,
frustrated,
or
going, that person, they look interesting, and someone goes, I don't want to move. I'm like, that's part of the deal of this dinner. You've got to move around, I guess it's just that was how it kind of grew out of that, the events. And so I didn't find myself a well-paid person from doing that, but actually the people I've worked with, they've now become clients in some cases, working hands-on, regardless of events, just with their core digital marketing and their
exactly.
lead generation. So the connections you build in that are
Absolutely.
now going to pay back in dividends.
Yep, you're absolutely
It's
right.
not what I earned on the event.
For me, it never worked with sort of live events or networking events. With me, it was social media, meet someone. I've done these dinner events and everything, but never really got anywhere apart from just giving cards and that's it. So I personally, I did my stuff through LinkedIn. Was pretty big when I started my business in 2011, 2010. So I used to contact people on LinkedIn, try and, get appointments, speak one-to-one, get business. And till this day, the people that I spoke to on a one-to-one basis are still in contact, whether email. Nick, are you with me?
I'm still
Yeah,
with
sorry,
you. I think you, yeah.
I just had a call. So I know people do love networking events, but I'm one of those that I rather meet you one-to-one and speak one-to-one in terms of getting business out of you, whether it's property, whether it's whatever, just even a referral, and then meet maybe 10 people in that day or something like that. So that's how I started, and that's how I sort of do it. And now those fruits are paying off in terms of they'll call me up, give me a property. They'll call me up, tell me to, I'm referring you to this and this person. He wants to buy a property. So I just see the way it works. But I think social media is so powerful these days that you can send a DM to anyone you want, on Instagram, for example.
Yeah, it's blown. It completely changed the landscape in terms of how you connect with people. But I think that I will use my recent example of reconnecting with my sort of use of LinkedIn, and it is how we reconnected, isn't it? It's
Yep,
how we got
yep,
here.
absolutely.
I'll share with people that in the last 3 months, I learned that there is a combination of finding the right approach, and you can use automation tools in LinkedIn. And I guess there are some people that don't like people using that, but let's be honest, if you use it smartly, just like you might send an email to 100 people or write 100 one-person emails, which is the smarter way of doing it? There's an argument for a bit of both. Everyone wants a personal email, but not everyone's going to reply to that personal email. So why not send out 100 emails, and then as soon as people open the chat, you continue the chat personally.
Absolutely.
That's
I mean, now
smart.
the way it works for me, that I've got my website live chat, I've got my LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, now there's TikTok. So there's so much variety of leads that you can generate from every social media avenue. It's unbelievable. And for me, I can't just stick to one. I have to look at every platform, because I get different business from each and every platform.
But Taza, let me ask you, have I said the word lead magnet? So how do you get an inquiry? And then everyone might be interested in this. Myself, I'm interested because this is what I work with my clients to help them build. Digital marketing partnership. One of the key things is go fishing. If you want to go fishing, and I used the example last night. So if you want to go fishing for a whale, someone who, for example, has got £1 million plus to invest in a property, you don't go fishing with a mackerel, with a mackerel hook. What is your lead magnet?
My lead magnet right now, what I would say is these live sessions. So how I get in touch with you is like I'm going through all my LinkedIn contacts that I've made since 2011. So I send them a message and it says to join me for a live session. Now, if they say yes or no, whatever it is, then the property work, everything comes out of it. Mm-hmm. Whether like right now we're talking now, for me, it's like the way we're talking, I'll always stay in your mind because you've had your first live session with BTH Properties. Yes. So when you think property,
What I think Instagram now, yeah.
You see? So on Instagram, when you will search someone, I mean, the way I work is totally different to how other agents would sort of get their leads. Other agents possibly get their leads through Zoopla and Rightmove, copy pasting a property on their website. That then takes it on to Zoopla and Rightmove, and that's how they get the lead. Other agents, they sit on LinkedIn and they search and search and search. With me, I post and post and post and post. So keep posting. I'll be in your face. Sometimes like literally on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter, 3 posts a day.
Wow.
So constantly reminding you that I don't want to sell. I don't want to sell to you. That's nothing to do with you. I'm just trying to remind you that
Brand awareness.
That's it.
Who
That
you
is
are,
it.
and then people go, "There's a property guy. What does that he does?"
That's it.
And that's the connection.
That's my lead magnet. I don't want to sell to you. I just want to make you aware I'm here. That's it.
And I think you could, this is something for you to think about, and maybe you already have this, is for people that don't know you yet, or for you to scale up, having a new person, maybe interviewing 3 times a day, is to invite people to come and join your list for being the next one, join your next, be the next person they interview live.
I mean, I've already had 3 cancellations this week.
So yes, you want to screen people to make sure that's not your time.
I mean, you
can only do so much.
Exactly. That's my point. I can only do so much. Now,
if
you
have
cancel,
a backup plan. If they cancel, just go on to something else. If you can.
No, I start posting. I get time to do my TikToks. I get time to do my Instagram.
Brilliant.
So, like right now, like yesterday, I had 2 live sessions. Both of them canceled. So I was like, okay, I've got enough time to spend an hour to get my social media done. So that's how I see it. If you cancel, your loss, not mine.
Well, I was here on time. I had to fire up Instagram to use the live for the first time. So there was me, and I'm also zoomed in, like extra 50% larger. So all you see is my head.
If you do carry on doing these Instagram lives, do get yourself a ring light.
You know what? The Christmas present list has actually become a microphone and now a phone stand.
A ring light. But a ring light is good because it gives you the extra light that you need.
Yes. Yeah, at the moment, the screen from my computer's blue, so it makes me look, let's just say, not good.
So coming to your digital marketing business that you're doing right now, how has that escalated during this time, during COVID and everything? Have more and more people sort of moved their way of business dealings through to social media, or still do you think there are people who are still just carrying on the way they are, the old way of phone calling, emailing? Like, just to give you an example, when someone tells me that, oh, Murtaza, I've got a property that I want you to sell. Okay, fine. But I'm not going to sell it on Zoopla and Rightmove. I'm going to mass blast it on social media, on emails, on my website, and on WhatsApp, because that's how I do business. Sure. So how do people sort of come to you in terms of, Nick, I want your social media services. What can you do for me? How do you do that for them?
Broader than social media services, digital marketing in all of its form. I think the power of a list, whether that be followers, whether that be a number of joiners in a group, the power of an email list, the people that you have on your CRM system, all of that is your data. That's your gold. And there's a lot to be said for the free promotion that these social media channels can give you. But if you had a 10,000 person email list and a newsletter that was going out weekly of people were interacting with that, even if Instagram went down tomorrow, or you're limited or the rules change, you own that data of those 10,000 people. If they've got GDPR compliant, you've got their phone number, you've got their email address, you've got their address. So I think my encouragement to anyone who's either digital marketing or their business, particularly this year, I said to my main clients, I only want to work with you part-time. I want to start a business that takes the service I'm giving you and takes it out to the wider market, because the time is right. Never has society needed more help in digital marketing, either a retail business that needs to turn on their online more, or someone that wants to start up and be purely online. Brilliant.
So
Either,
so you help Amazon business owners as well in
yeah, I
terms
mean,
of
in terms of if you have a digital business, there's no limits. Amazon's not my client. They don't need my skills. Frankly, they've got enough in house.
of
They can
course,
pay for it all themselves. But
of course,
it,
absolutely.
in terms of offering people services that can help their business, it fits in with what their business model is. So one size doesn't fit all. I'll give you a great example. I have a client on Harley Street who's a doctor. And because his products are a couple of £1,000s, Google Ads is the place to go. He's not advertising on Facebook for people that are thinking, oh yeah, do I look fat in this? Do I want this? And he's like, I want, I want, liposuction. I want something. I bought Botox and I want it on Harley Street. And we grab those keywords and we convert it into a patient. It costs about £150 to get
Per
that
month.
patient, or when you've done all the conversions and everything
Per
through
month.
that. No, per inquiry.
Per inquiry.
And I don't mean the inquiry, I mean to convert them into a customer. So that's the conversion process. And that might sound like a lot of money. That's not what we're paying a click. That might
But
be
I think, but I think at the end of spending 150, that patient on Harley Street, you can imagine, we can all
well, they
imagine.
spend on average £2,000 plus.
There you go. There
We
you
know
go.
our numbers, and that's a very
Absolutely.
important part.
Absolutely.
So he does social media to maintain his brand, but his leads are generated through
Google
Ads.
SEOs.
And, yeah. Now a different business might go, well, actually, my customer is only buying something for £50 or £100 a month. I can't afford that, or that's not going to fit. Social media and building a brand, building a following, and using influencers even over time. But that kind of strategy, that would be something. Content. You don't need me to tell you that, but that would be how you've got to have those things in parallel. You've got to be building network, and you've got to be using that content as well. And I do think that to accelerate any of these things, whether it's accelerating your Google traffic, you can sit there and wait for SEO to kick in after building a fat new website and doing a blog post every week, but that would take 6 to 12 months. Or you suddenly start putting down £100 a day on Google Ads.
But just to tell you, last week only, my digital marketing company that I work with, they started in March when I fired the other one that I had.
Okay.
And since March to last week, so November we're talking, our SEOs have shot up 490% on
6 to 12
Google.
months.
6 to 12 months, and that's organically without spending, any money
Absolutely. I think if you look at the graph, the quick fire way to guess the keywords in your locality is Google Ads, but that is expensive, and as you grow, you pay.
Absolutely.
Each time you grow, you pay. On the background, you have SEO working for you, and that could be a fixed amount, backlinks, content, and have someone doing for you consistently, and that will pay off. That's your dividend payoff over time.
Absolutely. You're so
smart
right. You're
person
so
does
right.
both.
And I can see it. If you work with a company and you work consistently, creating that medium of whether it's social media, whether it's Google, whether it's email, whether it's videos, content, whatever it is, and you keep pushing, it will grow. Yes, you can put in money and make it grow even further, but for people out there who think, oh, how am I going to invest into this? It costs so much. Yes, it's going to cost because it's a business and it requires cash flow to be pumped in regularly. But like you just mentioned, 6 to 12 months, you've got to wait for it to give you anything back also. You've got to analyze, any return made on investment takes about that sort of time. So I'm sure it can, what you're saying is absolutely right. But it's been a great talking with you.
I'd love to come back, Murtaza.
Absolutely. We should do this again. It's been an amazing talk. But before you go, Nick, I do this with all my guests that come on here. We've seen a lot of negativity around us over the past year. It's coming up to a year now.
It's been a
People have
long year
lost
for
their
most of us.
people have lost jobs, businesses gone bust, all that kind of stuff, all that negativity. What positive advice would you like to share with the world today so that they can take that on board and move forward in life?
Oh, well, I have to say, even some of the worst bushfires of the world, you know,
And
these
this
things
is
in
coming from
California.
someone who was in coma for 3 weeks, 6 months, 3 weeks. You said 3 weeks or
I
six?
was in hospital for 3 months. I was in a coma for 6 weeks.
There you go. Forgot your name and everything. You, no one, no other person could take positive advice on board. And what you did with your life and moving forward and everything, I'm sure it will be great coming from you. So go on, fire.
I have to say, you know, the inspiration you can get from disabled people, people who've been through trauma and adversity, they tap into some of the inner spirit to fight and determination and focus that most of us never even realize is in us. And this has been a tough year for most of us, but you should take confidence in, you know, one, you're learning how to fight. You're learning that determination to push through. And on another level, new opportunities come from tough times. You may not see them immediately, but the idea of the forest fire, sometimes all the big canopy has to be burnt out for the green shoots of the saplings that have been there dormant for 50 years to grow out. Now is some great opportunities. And for the fast movers, it's actually going to be one of the best opportunities of your life.
You're so right.
Keeping that mental state is, I think, a challenge for everyone, and that can come through community and support. Think positive in the sense that there's opportunities out there, and also you're growing to be a stronger fighter, and you may
Absolutely.
not feel that, but that is coming out of you, and all of us are going through it right now. So take that to heart and feel good about that.
Super. Well, Nick, it's been an amazing live session. Truly, listening to your life story, listening to everything that you've done from DJing to today, digital marketing. You know, it's been great talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on here, and we will do it again. So
I would
send you a
love
message
that. Digital marketing partnership for anyone that wants more information for free. Come and look me up, www.digitalmarketingpartnership.com. I look forward to speaking with you again, and you know, it's been great to be here. Thanks, Murtaza.
Super, Nick. Take care.
Take care. Thanks, Ed.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that was Nick Griffiths. What an amazing story about his life, everything health-wise, work-wise, professionalism, you know, coming from engineering and now doing digital marketing, totally amazing. How people adopt to different things in life. This was a good live session to hear that. Nick, thank you to you for coming on here. Thank you to everyone that joined me in. It's been a pleasure. I will see you again soon. Take